Liberation Playbook, Chapter 4, Citizens of Courage. Citizens of Courage, Stories from the Rebellion and Diaspora, embarks on a compelling journey, venturing beyond the immediate theaters of conflict to illuminate the indispensable role played by the diaspora in the struggle against dictatorships. Often compelled to leave their homeland due to political oppression, these individuals carry with them not just their personal narratives of suffering and escape, but also a steadfast commitment to the cause of freedom. The book delves into the lives of a diverse array of people: business people, students, teachers, doctors, farmers, and civil servants who, despite being physically distant from their native lands, continue to make significant contributions to the resistance. Their stories reveal the persistence of hope and the unyielding spirit of resilience that transcends geographical boundaries, highlighting the profound impact of the diaspora in shaping the course of rebellions against tyrannical regimes. Through personal accounts and detailed narratives, Citizens of Courage showcases how these individuals, scattered across the globe, have become instrumental in their country's fight for democracy and human rights. From organizing protests and raising global awareness to mobilizing resources and influencing foreign policy, the diaspora communities play a multifaceted role in supporting and sustaining the momentum of the rebellion. Their efforts often go unrecognized, yet they are crucial in keeping the flame of resistance alive. By chronicling these untold stories, the book not only pays tribute to the unsung heroes of these movements, but also provides a broader understanding of the complexities and dynamics of resisting oppressive governments, both from within and afar. 1. Business Unusual. Entrepreneurs in Exile examines the pivotal role that business people in the diaspora play in supporting resistance movements against oppressive regimes. Often forced into exile by circumstances beyond their control, these entrepreneurs leverage their networks, skills, and resources to contribute meaningfully to the cause of freedom in their homelands. Their unique position in foreign lands provides them with a strategic vantage point to orchestrate financial and logistical support, crucial for sustaining and advancing the efforts of those fighting on the ground. By establishing businesses and connections in their new countries, these exiled entrepreneurs create economic footholds that are then utilized to funnel resources, disseminate information, and rally international support for the resistance. One practical example of such efforts can be seen in the story of a Syrian entrepreneur who, upon resettling in Europe, established a tech startup. This venture not only became successful in its own right, but also served as a hub for supporting the resistance movement in Syria. Utilizing his business's profits, the entrepreneur financed humanitarian aid initiatives, funded media outlets broadcasting the realities of the conflict, and created employment opportunities for fellow exiles. Moreover, his business became a meeting point for activists and a platform for advocating policy changes in the host country, demonstrating the multifaceted impact of diaspora entrepreneurs. Another case is that of a group of Venezuelan business owners who, after migrating to the United States, utilized their expertise and connections to draw attention to the political crisis in Venezuela. They organized fundraising events, channeled funds to non-governmental organizations working on the ground, and leveraged their contacts to lobby U.S. policymakers for sanctions against the dictatorial regime. Their actions exemplify how exiled business people can use their economic influence and networks to affect change in their countries of origin. The role of these entrepreneurs extends beyond mere financial contributions. They often become key players in shaping the narrative and raising awareness about the struggles in their home countries. For instance, a group of Iranian entrepreneurs in Canada developed an online platform that not only promotes Persian culture but also serves as an information dissemination tool, bringing international attention to human rights violations in Iran. Through this platform, they have been able to mobilize global support, organize protests, and keep the international community informed about the ongoing resistance within Iran. In essence, Business Unusual, Entrepreneurs in Exile sheds light on the influential role that diaspora business people play in supporting resistance movements. Their unique position allows them to contribute significantly to the fight against oppression, utilizing their entrepreneurial skills, financial resources, and international networks to support and sustain movements for change in their homelands. Their stories are a testament to the power of the entrepreneurial spirit in the face of adversity and the critical role of the diaspora in global efforts to promote democracy and human rights. 2. Students Without Borders delves into the transformative role played by students in the diaspora who have risen as global advocates for change, transcending geographical barriers to voice the plight of their nations. Separated from their homelands by the harsh realities of oppressive regimes, these young individuals harness the power of their education and international platforms to amplify the voices of their compatriots and shed light on the ongoing struggles back home. Their unique position in foreign educational institutions provides them with access to a wider audience and the ability to influence global perspectives on their country's political and social issues. One striking example of this phenomenon is the active role played by Iranian students studying abroad during the Green Movement in Iran. In the wake of the disputed 2009 presidential election, these students utilized their positions in universities across Europe and North America to organize protests, set up information campaigns, and engage with international media to bring attention to the democratic aspirations of the Iranian people. By leveraging social media platforms and collaborating with student organizations, they were able to create a global network of support, significantly amplifying the impact of the movement and keeping the world's focus on Iran's struggle for democracy. Similarly, Venezuelan students studying overseas have been instrumental in drawing international attention to the humanitarian crisis and political turmoil in their country. Through organizing rallies, participating in academic conferences, and engaging with human rights organizations, they have been able to articulate the complexities of the Venezuelan situation to a global audience. Their efforts have not only raised awareness but also galvanized international student communities, policymakers, and NGOs to take a stand against the authoritarian regime in Venezuela. Moreover, these diaspora students often collaborate with NGOs to conduct research, gather data, and produce reports on human rights violations and other issues in their home countries. For instance, Burmese students in the United States have worked closely with human rights groups to document the military's atrocities against civilians in Myanmar. Their work has been crucial in providing reliable information that has shaped international response and sanctions against the military junta. In conclusion, Students Without Borders showcases how students in the diaspora play a crucial role in the global struggle for freedom and justice. By utilizing their educational opportunities, access to international platforms, and youthful zeal, they become powerful advocates for their homelands, effectively bridging the gap between local struggles and global awareness. Their actions demonstrate the significant impact that the younger generation can have in shaping international discourse and supporting movements for change, even from afar. 3. Educators Beyond Borders delves into the vital contributions of teachers in the diaspora who have gone beyond traditional educational roles to become custodians of cultural heritage and intellectual growth for communities living in exile. These educators, often driven from their home countries by oppressive regimes, find themselves in foreign lands where they shoulder the responsibility of preserving and imparting their native culture, language, and history to younger generations. They play a crucial role in ensuring that the cultural and intellectual identity of their homeland is sustained and celebrated, even in the face of displacement and adversity. By establishing cultural centers, weekend schools, and language classes in their host countries, these educators provide a space where children of the diaspora can connect with their roots, learn about their heritage, and maintain a sense of identity that is intrinsically tied to their country of origin. A notable example of this can be seen in the efforts of Syrian educators in various European countries, who, in response to the Syrian crisis, established schools and cultural programs for refugee children. These initiatives not only focus on traditional academic subjects, but also emphasize Syrian history, art, and language, ensuring that the children of Syrian refugees grow up with a strong connection to their cultural identity. Similarly, Tibetan teachers in Indian exile communities have been instrumental in preserving Tibetan culture and language among the youth. They have developed educational curricula that incorporate Tibetan history, Buddhist philosophy, and language studies, fostering a strong sense of cultural identity among Tibetan children born and raised in exile. Moreover, these educators often become cultural ambassadors, forging connections between their host countries and their homelands. They organize cultural events, exhibitions, and exchanges that not only educate the broader community about their culture, but also promote understanding and empathy towards their country's plight. For instance, Cuban educators in the United States have been active in promoting Cuban arts and literature, offering a window into the rich cultural tapestry of Cuba to American audiences. Through their work, they not only keep the spirit of Cuban culture alive among the diaspora, but also enhance cross-cultural dialogue and understanding. In essence, Educators Beyond Borders highlights the significant role that diaspora educators play in nurturing the intellectual and cultural identity of the next generation. Their efforts in educational initiatives and cultural preservation serve as a vital link between their homeland and host countries, ensuring that the essence of their national identity is kept alive and passed on to future generations, even in the face of displacement and change. 4. Healing across continents. Doctors in Exile examines the indispensable role of healthcare professionals in the diaspora who have extended their expertise and compassion beyond borders, often under challenging circumstances. Forced to leave their homelands due to oppressive regimes, these doctors, nurses, and healthcare workers have not only adapted to new environments, but also continued their noble mission of healing and caregiving. Their work often transcends the provision of medical care, encompassing advocacy, awareness, raising and calling for international intervention in health crises precipitated by conflict and oppression in their home countries. One poignant example is that of Syrian doctors who resettled in various countries around the world following the outbreak of civil war in Syria. Despite facing significant professional and personal challenges in their host countries, many have actively participated in initiatives to send medical supplies and aid back to Syria. Some have established charitable organizations focused on providing medical assistance to war-torn areas, utilizing their networks and knowledge to navigate the complexities of delivering aid in conflict zones. Additionally, these exiled healthcare professionals often engage in public speaking and advocacy, working tirelessly to raise awareness about the dire health situation in Syria and the need for international intervention. Furthermore, the diaspora medical community frequently collaborates with international health organizations and NGOs to address broader health crises. A notable example of this is the involvement of Sudanese doctors in the United States and Europe in efforts to combat the spread of infectious diseases in refugee camps. Through fundraising, coordinating medical missions, and providing remote consultations, they have significantly contributed to managing health emergencies among displaced populations. Their unique understanding of the cultural and linguistic nuances of their native communities enhances the effectiveness of these interventions. The contribution of doctors in exile is not limited to direct medical aid. They often play a crucial role in training and empowering healthcare workers in their home countries. For example, Afghan doctors in exile have organized training programs and workshops for medical personnel in Afghanistan, equipping them with the skills and knowledge necessary to handle the challenges posed by the ongoing conflict and limited resources. This capacity-building approach ensures a sustainable impact on the healthcare infrastructure in their home country. In conclusion, healing across continents, Doctors in Exile sheds light on the vital contributions of exiled healthcare professionals in alleviating suffering and advocating for the health needs of communities affected by conflict and repression. Their dedication to providing medical aid, raising awareness, and calling for international support exemplifies the profound impact that these individuals can have, not just as healthcare providers, but as advocates for humanitarian causes across the globe. 5. Civil service in exile. Navigating dual allegiances delves into the complex and often challenging lives of civil servants who find themselves in exile due to oppressive regimes in their home countries. These individuals, once integral to the functioning of their government's administrative machinery, face the difficult task of reconciling their loyalty to their homeland with the realities of their new life in exile. Despite these challenges, many exiled civil servants harness their expertise and experience to become influential figures in the global arena, advocating for human rights and democratic reforms in their countries of origin. One key area where these exiled civil servants make significant contributions is by using international platforms to expose human rights abuses perpetrated by the regimes from which they fled. For example, Venezuelan civil servants who sought asylum in various countries have played a crucial role in documenting and disseminating information about the government's crackdown on dissent and the deteriorating human rights situation in Venezuela. Leveraging their insider knowledge and professional networks, they have provided valuable insights and data to international human rights organizations, helping to build a strong case for international condemnation and intervention. In addition to raising awareness, these civil servants often engage in lobbying efforts with foreign governments and international bodies. They advocate for diplomatic interventions and sanctions against oppressive regimes, aiming to bring about political change. A notable instance of this is seen in the efforts of exiled Burmese civil servants following the 2021 military coup in Myanmar. These individuals have been instrumental in appealing to the United Nations and various governments for decisive action against the military junta, including economic sanctions and political pressure to restore democracy in Myanmar. Moreover, exiled civil servants play a crucial role in sustaining the spirit of resistance among the diaspora and within their countries. By organizing events, forming advocacy groups, and maintaining active communication with resistance movements back home, they keep the flame of opposition alive. An example of this can be seen in the activities of Syrian civil servants in Europe and the United States who have formed networks to support the opposition and coordinate aid and relief efforts. Their actions serve not only as a beacon of hope for those still enduring the conflict, but also as a reminder to the international community of the ongoing struggle for freedom and justice in Syria. In essence, civil service in exile, navigating dual allegiances, highlights the pivotal role played by exiled civil servants in the global struggle against authoritarianism. Through their efforts in exposing human rights abuses, lobbying for international intervention, and sustaining resistance movements, they continue to serve their nations, albeit from afar. Their unique position and dedication exemplify the enduring commitment to justice and democracy, transcending the boundaries of exile. 6. Unity across oceans. Collaborative movements with the diaspora explores the dynamic and impactful collaborations between diaspora communities and resistance movements in their home countries. This synergy between those living in exile and their counterparts back home has given rise to powerful transnational networks that amplify collective efforts against oppressive regimes. These diaspora communities play a crucial role in organizing international campaigns, fundraising, and creating channels for effective communication and support, bridging geographical divides to strengthen the fight for freedom and justice. One significant aspect of this collaboration is the organization of international campaigns aimed at raising awareness and exerting pressure on oppressive governments. For example, the Tibetan diaspora spread across various countries has been highly effective in keeping the issue of Tibet's struggle for autonomy in the global spotlight. Through coordinated efforts involving protests, cultural events, and lobbying in their host countries, Tibetan exiles have managed to garner international support and keep the Tibetan cause alive. Similarly, The global campaign against apartheid in South Africa was significantly bolstered by South African exiles, who engaged in advocacy and activism in their host countries, bringing international attention and support to the anti-apartheid movement. Fundraising is another critical area where diaspora communities have made substantial contributions. The Syrian diaspora, for instance, has organized numerous fundraising events and campaigns to support humanitarian aid efforts in Syria. These funds have been crucial in providing medical supplies, food, and shelter to those affected by the civil war. Additionally, the Venezuelan diaspora has actively raised funds to support Venezuelan refugees and migrants, as well as to finance initiatives that promote democratic reforms and human rights in Venezuela. Moreover, diaspora communities have excelled in creating transnational networks that facilitate communication, resource sharing, and strategic planning with resistance movements back home. The Cuban diaspora in the United States, for example, has established a vast network that not only supports dissidents within Cuba, but also disseminates information about the regime's human rights violations. These networks often extend to engaging with international organizations and governments, advocating for policy changes and interventions that could aid in their cause. The collaboration between the Iranian diaspora and activists within Iran is another testament to the power of these networks, as they work together to circumvent censorship and spread news about the situation in Iran to the international community. In conclusion, unity across oceans. Collaborative movements with the diaspora underscores the vital role diaspora communities play in global resistance movements. Their efforts in organizing campaigns, fundraising, and building transnational networks not only provide tangible support to those fighting on the ground, but also ensure that their voices are heard on the international stage. The unity and collaboration between the diaspora and their homeland counterparts exemplify the strength and resilience of communities striving for change, regardless of the physical distances that separate them. 7. Building bridges. Diaspora and Homefront Unity delves into the critical collaboration between diaspora communities and resistance movements within their home countries. This partnership has proven essential in strengthening rebellions against oppressive regimes by fostering global solidarity, exerting pressure on international bodies, and sustaining the momentum for change. The combined efforts of those in exile and those on the home front create a powerful force that transcends borders, enhancing the effectiveness and reach of their campaigns for freedom and justice. One key area of collaboration is in the realm of international advocacy and lobbying. Diaspora communities often have better access to global forums and foreign governments, enabling them to advocate for their cause on an international stage. For instance, the Yemeni diaspora played a crucial role in bringing the Yemeni civil war to the attention of Western media and policymakers. By organizing protests, participating in conferences, and meeting with government officials, they have been instrumental in highlighting the humanitarian crisis in Yemen and pushing for international intervention. Similarly, Armenian diaspora communities worldwide mobilized effectively to raise awareness and seek support during the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict, using their global presence to influence international opinion and policy. Another significant contribution of the diaspora is in the area of fundraising and resource mobilization. These communities often organize fundraising events and campaigns to support the needs of those fighting back home. A notable example is the Filipino diaspora's response to the People Power Revolution in the Philippines. Filipinos living abroad raised funds, sent supplies, and provided moral support to those participating in the revolution, playing a vital role in the eventual success of the movement. This kind of financial and material support is crucial, especially in prolonged conflicts where resources are scarce. Furthermore, diaspora communities are instrumental in creating and sustaining transnational networks that facilitate the exchange of information, resources, and strategies. These networks serve as lifelines for resistance movements, offering a channel for communication and coordination that can evade state control and censorship. For example, during the Arab Spring, diaspora communities utilized social media and digital platforms to share news, coordinate protests, and offer tactical advice to activists in countries like Egypt and Tunisia. These efforts helped to maintain the momentum of the uprisings and kept the international community engaged with the unfolding events. In essence, building bridges, diaspora, and home front unity highlights the indispensable role of diaspora communities in bolstering resistance movements within their home countries. Through advocacy, fundraising, and the creation of transnational networks, these communities amplify the voices of those on the ground, contributing significantly to the global fight against tyranny. Their collaborative efforts not only strengthen the rebellion, but also foster a sense of solidarity and unity that is crucial for sustaining the push for change, demonstrating the power of unified action in the face of oppression. 8. A global tapestry of resistance serves as a contemplative reflection on the complex and interconnected fabric of resistance created by the collective efforts of individuals both within their homelands and in the diaspora. This tapestry, rich in diversity and unified in purpose, symbolizes the strength and resilience of communities fighting against oppression. The enduring impact of these collaborative efforts extends far beyond the immediate goals of dismantling tyrannical regimes. It fosters a heightened global awareness of the struggles for freedom and justice, and it inspires an ongoing spirit of solidarity among people across the world. The synergistic actions of those within the homeland and the diaspora have been instrumental in challenging and, in some cases, overturning oppressive governments. Through a combination of on-the-ground activism and international advocacy, these movements have managed to capture the attention of the global community, bringing to light the plight of those living under authoritarian rule. This international spotlight often translates into political pressure, humanitarian aid, and diplomatic support, which are crucial for the success of any resistance movement. For instance, the coordination between the Polish Solidarity movement and its supporters abroad during the 1980s played a significant role in the eventual collapse of communist rule in Poland, demonstrating the power of global collaboration. Additionally, the global tapestry of resistance serves as a beacon of hope and a source of inspiration for other oppressed communities. The stories of courage, perseverance, and triumph in the face of adversity resonate with people worldwide, offering valuable lessons and strategies for those engaged in similar struggles. This shared narrative of resistance fosters a sense of unity and solidarity, reminding us that the fight for human rights and democratic freedoms is a universal endeavor. The Arab Spring, for example, inspired a wave of pro-democracy movements around the world, showcasing the ripple effect of successful resistance movements. In conclusion, a global tapestry of resistance encapsulates the profound and lasting impact of collaborative efforts between individuals in the homeland and the diaspora in their fight against oppressive regimes. Their united front not only accelerates the downfall of tyrannical governments, but also elevates global consciousness about the importance of defending human rights and supporting democratic values. This tapestry, woven with threads of determination and hope, stands as a testament to the enduring power of collective action and the unbreakable bond of global solidarity in the pursuit of a just and equitable world. 9. Diaspora Voices, from Afar But Still Here, offers a poignant and personal platform for individuals in the diaspora to share their unique experiences, reflections, and insights. This collection of narratives from those who live far from their homelands yet remain deeply connected to their country's struggles brings to light the multifaceted roles they play in the quest for justice and freedom. These stories highlight not only the challenges faced by the diaspora in contributing to resistance movements from afar, but also the triumphs and the unwavering commitment they maintain towards their homelands. The diaspora's contribution often involves a complex interplay of emotions and responsibilities. Living in a foreign land, they grapple with feelings of helplessness, guilt, and longing, yet they channel these emotions into a powerful drive to make a difference. Their stories reveal how they navigate the delicate balance of adapting to new cultures while preserving their own, and how they leverage their positions to influence international perceptions and policies regarding their home countries. For example, an Iranian expatriate recounts organizing cultural events to educate their host community about Iran's rich heritage and current struggles, effectively becoming cultural ambassadors for their country. The triumphs of the diaspora are particularly striking as they find innovative ways to support resistance movements through fundraising, advocacy, and awareness campaigns. A Syrian refugee shares how, despite the pain of leaving their home under dire circumstances, they have been able to mobilize support and resources for fellow Syrians affected by the ongoing conflict. These personal stories underscore the profound impact that the diaspora can have, working tirelessly to ensure that the voices of their people are heard and their plights are not forgotten. In conclusion, Diaspora Voices, from afar but still here, serves as a compelling reminder of the vital role that the diaspora must continue to play in supporting change in their home countries. The narratives within this collection are a testament to their enduring commitment and the significant contributions they make towards their homeland's quest for justice and freedom. These voices from afar resonate with a powerful message. Distance does not diminish dedication. As such, the diaspora's involvement is not just beneficial, but essential in the global struggle against oppression, serving as a bridge that connects the local struggles to the international community and amplifies the call for lasting change.